Today on Fresno State Focus, a shooting rampage in downtown Fresno leaves 3 people dead, the latest on the investigation.
Plus, a Fresno State music professor is being remembered by students and faculty.
And even after hours of training for competition, athletes still rely on things like lucky socks to get their head in the game. A look into local athletes and their own superstitions. Fresno State Focus starts now.
Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Kate Paquette.
And I'm Jordan Kemp. 4 people are dead in separate shootings in Fresno, all being linked to one man. Police have identified the shooter as Corey Ali Muhammad, whose real name is Corey Taylor. Officers say Muhammad shot 3 people yesterday in downtown Fresno. He is also linked to the killing of a Motel 6 security guard at Blackstone and Ashland last Thursday. Police received reports of gunshots around 10:45 yesterday morning at Van Ness and Mildreda. They arrested Muhammad shortly after the shooting. Police Chief Jerry Dyer is calling it a hate crime.
We do not believe, based on the information we have today, that this is a terrorist-related crime. Based on the information that we have been provided and our investigation has shown, is that this is solely based on race.
Police say Muhammad was targeting white men based on what they found in Muhammad's social media posts. Authorities say Muhammad will likely face 4 counts of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. The FBI and agents with alcohol, tobacco, and firearms are assisting Fresno police in the ongoing investigation.
Fresno State students and faculty are remembering the life of a music professor who died last week. Dr. Bradley Huft was a longtime educator at Fresno State. He was also a composer, concert promoter, and was known in the restaurant scene for his time at the Daily Planet and Bricks.
I would like people to remember him as a person who was not just hardworking, but really dedicated to everything that he loved to do and everything that he thought was important.
Flowers were left at the door of his office. Dr. Huff's classes were canceled on Monday. Officials say multiple music professors will be filling in for the late professor through the rest of the semester.
Vice President Mike Pence paid a visit to South Korea on Monday. The visit is part of Pence's 10-day tour of Asia. In a joint statement with Acting President Hwang Kyo-ahn, Pence expressed U.S. commitment to South Korea. This comes in the wake of increased tensions with North Korea after they conducted a missile test over the weekend.
On behalf of the President of the United States, my message to the people.
And another program on campus is helping minority groups navigate through university requirements. Reporter Juan Avila tells us about Fresno State alumni helping students in the migrant program succeed.
Right next to the Development Career Center at Fresno State is CAMP, the College Assistance Migrant Program. CAMP serves to empower migrant students during their college career. Ofelia Gámez, director of the CAMP program, was a migrant student herself. Gámez says she enjoys being able to give back and help others through the very program that she used when she was a student at Fresno State.
And so CAMP was very instrumental. So because of the way in which it made me feel, I wanted to be part of that as well, to be able to help new students feel a sense of belonging.
The College Assistance Migrant Program in Fresno State, directed by Ofelia Gámez, focuses on helping migrant students with advising services to successfully graduate.
Seeing them grow into their majors and doing internships and then becoming young professionals, it's just so rewarding to see them from the beginning and then be able to celebrate with them their graduation.
Gabriela Encinas is a first-generation college alumni. She says Gámez is her role model since she started CAMP. Her biggest inspiration is to be able to help and guide students through college.
She represents the heart of higher education. It is people like her that work tirelessly to help countless of students, and not just any student, right? The students with the most need. And so we need champions like her.
Celina Cervantes is a CAMP student and says she has benefited from the services provided in the migrant program.
Well, I thought CAMP was a great support group that helped me transition from high school to a university. It had a lot of advising options during the day.
Every year, the number of Fresno State CAMP students graduating is successfully increasing, and we have Ofelia Gámez to thank for that. Juan Avila, Fresno State Focus.
Well, it's just so fantastic to see programs that are helping students make their way through school.
It really is, especially for these first-time college students, first-generation college students. I mean, I'm not first generation, and I get overwhelmed with what to do. And my parents are like, well, I didn't go to Fresno State. I don't know what program to tell you to go to. So I think it's really awesome that there is a program set up for these students.
And it's just really nice to see everyone coming together to build something, for their future.
Yeah, I mean, college is such a big deal, and so I just think this is really awesome.
Well, coming up on Fresno State Focus, tweets about President Trump remove a Fresno State professor from the classroom for the rest of the school year.
Plus, a 3-time Pulitzer Prize winner and New York Times columnist visits the Save Mart Center when we return.
Success. At Fresno State, it's no secret. It's discovering new ways to change our world. It's creating opportunities as diverse as our community itself. It's in the distinction of our graduates as they lead us into the future. Success is no secret at Fresno State. It's our mission.
This is our Fresno State, forming relationships and learning experiences that last a lifetime, making friends who are like family, learning from professors who treat us like family, and earning a degree to make a better future for our family. Engaging our alumni generation by generation by generation. This is our Fresno State. Welcome to the family.
Mazechek has been put on voluntary paid leave for the rest of the school year.
This comes after the Fresno State professor put out a series of controversial tweets regarding President Trump. In an email on Tuesday, President Castro said that Dr. Mazechek will be conducting research off campus without having any type of teaching role. According to President Castro, substitute faculty will be taking over Dr. Mazechek's courses for the rest of the semester. Students who take the university dance theater class at Fresno State get the opportunity to experiment with different types of dance and performance.
May Fukata shows us some of the moves students are working on for their upcoming performance.
University dance theater students are practicing hard for their upcoming performance.
I love dancing.
For freshman Lauren McCaffrey, this is not the first time she's performed in front of an audience at Fresno State.
I just want to show my compassion, pretty much, to show that I'm my dance has been in my life, and it always will be.
It's really exciting.
Shanita Pryor shares the same passion. She choreographed one of the dances students will be performing at Empowerment Through Dance next week.
The essence of my dance would be mainly it's something that you dream about, a goal, something in your life that you're striving for. You channel it inside and you just show it, and it shows out through compassion, it shows out through powerful. So I think of powerful women when I watch this dance.
There are moments where I could be powerful. There are times where I show the power on stage, and then I try to put that power into how I am in my community. I try to be in there as much as I can.
The class attracts people who are talented, experienced, and passionate about dancing. This class is run by the students.
I want to show my vision. I have a lot of ideas in my head, so it's actually really nice to implement them and just actually perform them and see the dancers, this one, put it all together, and just the way it comes out. That's what I really like.
Pryor also designed and sews the costumes for all 5 dancers.
I know it just looks like shiny fabric, but it's actually a wrap skirt.
The first time she has ever done something like this. And she's looking forward to showing her work to the audience. May Fukata, Fresno State Focus.
Tickets for Empowerment Through Dance may be purchased online. The program runs April 27th through the 29th at the Lab School Theater.
If you're an avid reader of the newspaper, it's inevitable that you've read a column piece by New York Times columnist Thomas L. Friedman. The 3-time Pulitzer Prize-winning author will be speaking at the Save Mart Center tonight to cover themes from his latest bestseller, Thank You for Being Late.
It's just a great event for the community to come together and get engaged on some topics and issues that are of relevance to all of us, really, in the world today.
The themes will touch on how to overcome the stress and challenges we face in a world of technology, globalization, and climate change. The lecture begins at 6:30 p.m. and will be followed with an intimate question and answer segment. Friedman will also be selling and signing books until 9. Doors open at 5:30, and the lecture is welcome to the public of all ages.
This weekend marks the 43rd annual Vintage Days Festival here at Fresno State. Here to talk with us a little more about the event is Vintage Days student coordinator Cindy Couyate. Hi, Cindy.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Most
Can you
definitely.
just tell us a little bit about what Vintage Days is and what we can expect?
Yeah, Vintage Days, like you mentioned, this is our 43rd year. It's basically a 3-day festival that we put on for the entire school. So over the 3 days, starting this Friday through Sunday, there's going to be live music, entertainment, food booths, game booths, a lot of clubs and organizations, including, academic clubs, sororities, fraternities. They'll be out there selling food, hosting games as well. We also have a kids zone, we have a movie night on Saturday, and a college night on Friday.
So it's a great way to get the family out.
Most definitely. It's definitely a family-friendly event. It's also very student-oriented. Like I said, on Friday we're going to be having our powder paint party. So that's just for Fresno State students. And then throughout the weekend, very family-friendly. Kids zone out there. Like I said, live entertainment, food and game booths. So it's just a really great way to kind of, spend the weekend.
So what goes into planning this? I mean, this is the 43rd year, so this is a big tradition Fresno State has.
It's one of Fresno State's biggest tradition, if not the biggest. We have a team of 15 coordinators that actually start planning in August. So throughout the entire year, we have coordinators who focus on each section of the event. So we have Kids Zone coordinators, Boomtown, who take care of the food and game booths, concert coordinators. And so it's just non-paid volunteers, students at Fresno State who put on this event.
So as a student director, what is it that you have to do to get prepared? And you're working hand in hand with all of these students.
Exactly.
Are you leading them, or what is your position?
Yeah, so this is actually my 3rd year on the committee. So I started out as one of the coordinators. I used to be the Kids Zone coordinator and kind of moved up through the years. So my role is basically to, coordinate all the coordinators, make sure everyone's staying on task, provide motivation, and then whatever it is that maybe some of the areas don't cover, like whether it's Kids Zone or concerts, me and my own assistant student director, we kind of take those roles on, whether it's organizing volunteers or getting in contact, with some of our sponsors.
So for families to attend the event, to actually get into the event, does it cost them anything, or is the cost is just whatever food you buy,
Exactly,
whatever games you want to
yeah,
participate
exactly.
in?
So it's totally a free event. You come and you can park anywhere. Completely free event. Just bring some pocket money for food booths, game booths, for our crafts fair. You can get wristbands at the Kids Zone, which will allow you to go to the petting zoo, pony rides, and all of the inflatables, and those are just $5.
So what is it that you're most looking forward to?
I just am excited to run the event. Like I said, we spent an entire year planning this, so actually seeing the event come to fruition is very satisfying. Our coordinators put a lot of hard work throughout the entire year, so I'm just excited to see everyone having a good time.
Well, I'm really excited. This is actually my first year out there, so
Oh,
I'm
fantastic.
really excited to attend. My mom's coming in town for it and everything.
Oh, awesome.
So
very cool.
we've been talking with Cindy Couyate. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Sometimes all we need is a little motivation to help get our mindset. Talia Arredondo has the story of a Fresno company that is spreading messages of positivity across the Central Valley.
Turning thoughts into reality. Rise to It Pro has been spreading their motivation through the Central Valley. Jonathan Hernandez remembers the day he and co-founder Nathan Sari came up with their name.
And one day we were having dinner at Denny's, and I remember I was eating my moons over my hammy, and he had this slogan, and he was like, if you could rise to it, you could rise through it. And I said, that's it. And he had no idea what I was talking about. I said, that's the name of the company right there. That's even the slogan.
Go! Before they knew it, they were getting calls from different schools, colleges, and events to speak.
It's not just the motivational speaking part. It's that when we're there, we're really there to spend time with you. It's not about, oh, let's get this event done, let's go to the next one. Or we're there, we're checking in.
Not even an option. I don't want them to even think about going to college. I want them to know which college they're going to go to, whether it's a community college or whether it's a university right out the gate, just to be prepared, mentally, and that's something that we offer.
Educational consultant Lena Mendoza says it's not just about students. Rise to It Pro has been trying to leave a positive impact on the community too.
With the generations today, we think that things are very quick and easy. If there's a shortcut in life, if you want to be successful, I don't believe that there's any shortcuts. I think it's it's about cultivating and fostering that over a long term, and then also that I think it's very important that we come back for others and being able to build them up as well.
Rise to It Pro plans on growing more and taking it outside of the valley to reach as many people as possible. Sari left a few words for the community.
I hope I get to meet you someday, because we can spend some time together, and if you can rise to it, you can rise through it.
Talia Redondo, Fresno State Focus.
Coming up in sports, A former pro football player and convicted found dead in his jail cell.
And the final day of the Mountain West Championships for women's golf, where the Dogs finished in the 3-day series. Stay tuned for sports with Tristan Lewis.
I got the bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head.
Up in my head.
I got that bulldog spirit up in my head. Up in my head to stay. I got that bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Got that bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart to stay. I got that bulldog spirit down in my toes. Down in my toes. Down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit down in my toes. Hey. Down in my toes to stay. I got that bulldog spirit up in my head, deep in my heart, down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit all over me to stay. I got that bulldog spirit
Deep in my heart.
deep in my heart, deep in my heart. I got that bulldog spirit.
Welcome back. I'm Tristan Lewis with your sports report. Former New England Patriots player Aaron Hernandez has been found dead. According to a statement from the Massachusetts Department of Correction, Hernandez's body was found at the Correctional Center in Shirley, Massachusetts. He hung himself with a bedsheet attached to his cell window. Hernandez was serving a life sentence for a 2013 murder, and he was just acquitted Friday in a 2012 double slaying outside a nightclub. The Diamond Dogs head out of town today for a 4-game road trip heading over to the Pacific. The Dogs are coming off of a 2-win, 2-loss week, beating the Air Force twice at home. Today's game against the Tigers will mark the second of 2 meetings this season. The teams last met in February, where the Dogs pulled out a 10-7 victory. Today marks the final round of the Mountain West Women's Golf Championships. Senior Bulldog Gudrun Bjorkvadsdottir was able to finish at a 4-way tie for 7th place. Overall, the Dogs were able to finish as a team in 4th place with a score of 292 points. And this Friday is senior night for women's lacrosse team. The team will be honoring their 5 seniors before facing off against Cal for a chance to make it to conference playoffs. Joining us today is defender Kyleigh Westgarth. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, how important is this game on Friday?
Basically, if we win, we're going on to conference, which is something that we have never done in program history before, and if we lose, then we don't make it and Cal gets to go. So it's win or lose, it's a big game for us.
So what kind of stuff have you been doing to gear up for this game?
Every day we've been watching film, watching their players, getting to know their plays, preparing just at practice. We practice every day hard, just watching film, getting to know what they're going to do so we feel like we're most prepared for what they're going to do.
It's not only important because it's the playoff game, but it's also senior night. What kind of emotions are stirring up in your head right now?
It's happy and it's sad at the same time. I'm saying goodbye to being an athlete for what I've been doing for almost my entire life. But at the same time, it's exciting. I'm moving on to a new chapter in my life, moving forward, going to get a real job, that kind of stuff. So
what kind of plans do you have after graduation then?
Being from San Diego, I've worked the last 2 summers at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, which is also one of my passions in life is conservation, wildlife, that kind of thing. So I'll be returning back to that for the summer and then hopefully getting a full-time job with them in the fall.
So there's about 4 seniors from San Diego out of the 5 seniors that are graduating. How cool is that?
It's awesome. I mean, I've known these girls since freshman year of high school, so we've been playing together. We've been playing against each other. We played together on the same club team, so I really know a lot of them really well, and it's nice to have that kind of relationship with someone that you're on the field with.
You're also the all-time leader in draw controls, right? Mm-hmm. How cool is that?
I mean, it's something that I've really strived for these all 4 years. Draw control is kind of what drew me into lacrosse in the first place, is something that I excelled at when I first started, and now I've just grown to love it. It's my favorite side of the game. It's what I look forward to.
What age did you start playing lacrosse?
I actually started my freshman year of high school. I had played softball and soccer my whole life, and my mom actually begged me to play lacrosse because she was sick of watching softball games.
How has the season gone for you so far?
This year's been really good, pretty good for me. I mean, I've done really well stat-wise. I've started a new position this year. Usually I'm a midfielder. This year I've been put back into defense, which I've grown to love as well. It's more of a different, it's more specialized than what I've been doing in the past 3 years, but I really like it.
And it just keeps things interesting at the game.
Yeah, less running.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We've been talking to senior defender Kyleigh Westgarth, and we hope the best for you on Friday and have a great senior night.
Thank you.
No matter the sport, many athletes have superstitions they can't compete without. Reporter Jordan Kemp spoke with one of the gymnasts at a pre-competition routine as important as practice.
For Nicole Myler, wrapping her hands 3 to 5 times is mandatory. Spraying each wrist with a different perfume and rubbing them together is a must. Fidgeting with her feet before a performance is something she can't win without. Myler knows these actions don't affect how she performs in any way, but in her head, she needs them.
Just habits that had developed that if you didn't do it, made your body just feel as like muscle memory at that point, that if you didn't do it, it was awkward and strange and really threw you off mentally.
Perfume and straps may seem like nothing, but to athletes like Myler, they mean the difference between winning and losing. Julia Connor, one of Myler's teammates, said superstitions like this are common with the whole team.
And one thing that we started doing last year was taking a drop or two of honey. So we would always do that because that was just a little bit of sugar that got everyone really pumped, and it kind of became a habit. And yeah, probably a superstition that we all like, okay, we have to have the honey, and if someone forgot to bring it, then oh my gosh, I can't believe you forgot, we need that.
While performing, Connor and Myler count on habits like these to make them comfortable, confident, and ready to win. Athletes from any discipline will tell you how important these rituals can be. Fresno State swimmer Kelly Simmons said superstitions can be mind over matter.
So having something that can kind of be that backbone for you when you can't rely on your body, but you can rely on your mind, it kind of just gets you through the meet or the event.
And to athletes like Myler, mind over matter can be the difference between winning and losing.
It's like doing this routine beforehand just made it more comfortable for me that, I don't know, that it would help me in some way have a good day.
Whether it's lucky socks, fancy cologne, or a lucky jersey number, athletes will do just about anything they can to win. Jordan Kemp, Fresno State Focus.
No matter what it is, it seems whatever superstition our Fresno State Bulldogs are doing is working for them. Now here's a look at your entertainment news with Talia Arredondo.
Thanks, Tristan. Prince's documents were unsealed on Monday. They showed that none of the medication found inside his home following his death last year were prescribed to him. Although the medical examiner's office released the cause of the death, it will not be released. May he rest in peace. Well, rumor has it, Lala Anthony and unwanted NBA star Carmelo Anthony split up after 7 years of marriage. Why? Well, it looks like Carmelo cheated and has supposedly impregnated a woman who dances at a New York gentleman's club, and Lala is not thrilled. Sources say that the other woman is claiming to be 6 months pregnant. Actor Gary Sinise was awarded a star on Hollywood Walk of Fame on Monday. He was honored for decades of acting and decades of activism in support of the troops. Sinise is well known for playing Lieutenant Dan Taylor in Forrest Gump. He was praised at the Hollywood ceremony for his work with his own foundation, which helps fund veteran programs. And with a bachelor's degree in fashion merchandising, a Fresno State alumni has opened up her very own online boutique. I got the chance to meet with this local entrepreneur who has a passion for fashion. It's not quite often we hear of a fashionista chef. This is Kyleigh Westgarth, a Fresno State alumni who graduated with a bachelor's in fashion merchandising. Her passion for fashion led her to her very first own online boutique, Velvet Blush.
Shopping online is where it's at, and I like the fact of having the convenience of laying in bed while you want to shop, or you're bored, or like, oh, I really need this particular item. I'd rather put it into a search category than hunt down in a whole entire store.
Throughout this journey, Grignani has been able to put a twist of her 90s rocker style and feminine side to her store. Velvet Blush model Stella Tinajero talks about her experience so far working with Velvet Blush.
Oh, it's been a blast. Like, when else can somebody say, like, hey, you want to go try on some clothes? I'm like, yeah, I'd love to get all done up. You know, it's an excuse to actually use my makeup for once.
Social media has been helping out, as well as trying to reach out to people through other activities. Recently, Velvet Blush went out to Tower to show people the different styles available. Close friend Christina Flores describes what Grignani is like.
Kyleigh is one of a kind. She definitely has a goal and she goes for it. She puts something in her mind and she's a go-getter. She is very organized with everything. And
Grignani plans on continuing her passion for cooking as well as her passion for fashion in hopes of inspiring others to know they don't only have to have one passion.
I just want to do what I love, and this is what I love.
It was a great experience watching her manage her business, and I even got to take a look at the outfits available. I'm definitely going to go back to try on a few outfits. Best of luck to her. And that's entertainment news. Now back to you, Mary Kate and Jordan.
I know I saw some of those clothes in the background and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna have to check out that boutique online because that looks so cute. Thanks, Talia. The grizzly bears have been a staple of our state for over a century.
Reporter Tristan Lewis speaks with conservationists about the official state animal and why it remains the same even though the grizzly hasn't been in California for several decades.
On a bright and sunny spring day, you'll be able to spot a bunch of different animals at Sequoia National Park.
We have a lot of biodiversity. We have black bears, we have mountain lions, our mule deer are really beautiful here as well.
But there is one animal you'll find missing. And so do you guys have any grizzly bears here?
No, we do not have any grizzly bears in Sequoia National Park. That is a common question that people ask a lot.
The grizzly bear has covered California's flag for over 100 years. But the state symbol has been missing from the Golden State since 1922. The reason? We have traded out the bears for cities and farms.
Grizzly bears in California were mainly in the Central Valley. They probably did occasionally come to the area that is now Sequoia National Park, but it was not that common. They're more like lowland creatures.
Today, there are about 1,800 grizzlies remaining in the lower 48 states, a place where we once saw a high of 50,000. Although you won't find any grizzly bears roaming around here in Sequoia, there is a group in California who are trying to change that. The Center for Biological Diversity has been trying to bring back the bears for years now, creating petitions and even some quirky PSAs to raise awareness of the disappearing animal.
It's 2016, but we still have a grizzly bear on that stupid, out-of-date state flag. I should be the new face of California, not some smelly bear.
Jeff Miller, a conservation advocate for the center, has been looking at places most likely the bears can return.
So we petitioned the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to revise the recovery plan for grizzly bears to include reintroducing them to some other areas, including California.
Even though today, the only way you might spot a grizzly in Fresno is by heading over to Chancey Park, the center hopes to see the wildlife return in small amounts in the next couple of years. Tristan Lewis, Fresno State Focus.
Honestly, I had no idea that we didn't have grizzly bears in California anymore, and that is weird that they're still on our state flag.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's been since 1922. Everybody you've talked to, they probably assume that the grizzly bears are here just because of California and the state flag, but it's not real.
Honestly though, I'm okay with it because I am terrified of bears. They haunt my dreams.
You have to use the rule of thumbs. You have to use the rule of thumbs. If you can see it with your thumb, you're too close.
Any close is too close.
Oh man.
Well, next week on Fresno State Focus, a Fresno Grizzlies fan finds his happy place at the ballpark.
Plus, how a local baking company keeps its important family tradition alive.
And the people behind the desk and the cameras, a behind-the-scene look at your Fresno State Focus team.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.